Okay, let's get on with it. So I've cheated slightly, and I've already prepped myself. So I have my main piece on cling filmed, taped to oblivion, and then I've got the foam pieces on top of that. Again, taped to oblivion, trying desperately to keep everything still. And yeah, kind of it, to be honest. I'm pretty much just going to attempt to get on with it, really. We'll see how this goes. I'm gonna quickly steal a swig of my drink, and I have the door for the garage open because, you know, dust. So yeah, not that I'm gonna be like making a whole lot of dust necessarily, but dust is dust. So whatever way you spin it, I'd just kind of rather not, to be honest. So probably gonna have to do this one at a time. I'm inclined to do the right hand side first, because my reach is kind of slightly better on that side. So I guess I'll do that. Now I've got gloves on this time, because last time I ended up, basically my hands got really dry, and my fingers split, which was just inconvenient, to be honest. Like, I didn't care a whole bunch, but it was annoying. Also, if I sound out of breath, it's because I kind of have to, like, expand my ribs to keep this on. That's kind of hard. And in hindsight, I probably could have wedged it with something. But, you know, whatevs, to be honest. A bunch here from last time. Okay. That one's obscenely long. So I know I said last time bandages suck, and they do. But when it came to getting everything off, these had actually done quite a good job as far as holding the internal shape. So I am going to start off with these, as I did last time. Okay. Let's see how this goes. It's going to be interesting no matter what. And yes, I am completely at peace with becoming cold and wet. I objectively don't care. As far as like the crease in the tape, I'm not worried. I can sand that down after the fact. That concerns me not. My main focus for now is just building up basics. Keeping everything as flush as I can as I do so. And like last time, I'm using cold water because I don't want it to go off too quickly. Because I'm going to be here for a while. So I don't want to afford myself enough time to work on stuff. Getting in under there was always going to be tricky. Do a couple of smaller bits. Get that ridge up top properly dealt with. Just checking periodically that it's all still sat where it should be. I sound like I've just climbed a hill. It is just because I'm having to overinflate my lungs to keep this on me. Which is so not great. Just have to be a little bit aware of it. Stop sticking to yourself, damn it. You're going to be like that. I'll just use you up here instead. Basically just going to have to do this bit at a time, slowly. Vaguely carefully. Getting up under here is obviously going to suck. Not least because my circulation is terrible. But keeping my arms up is hard as is. Just made that a little bit more difficult. You love to see it. Wonder if I can get a small bit in up there. Just to try and hold that. I don't know, actually, it's not the worst thing ever. Maybe I'll just leave it. This bit was always going to be tricky. Right, if that's working, I'm going to just try keep my arm up out below. It's just difficult because, again, my circulation's really bad. So my arm does not want to be high up. It wants blood to return to it. So maybe I just approach it like this. Come on, don't do that. Stay there for a second, dang it. Oh, my poor arm. How's everyone doing? Nice restful morning or evening, depending on where you're at. I'd say same here, but I'd be lying, so I won't say that. Maybe I'll focus on the lower edges for a bit. Give myself half a chance. He says. He fumbles it. I can hold that there. Progress. Progress is being made. I just can't feel my arms. But I was determined I was going to do this myself as a way of proving that it can be done on your own. Because that's always how I've done stuff historically. Like, yes, I could absolutely phone a friend for this, but I refuse. Come on, hypermobility. Ah, no, circulation. No, circulation. Irritating. I'm no good at putting up curtains. Right, sod that. Try again. Start afresh. Come on. Don't do this. Really? Wildly unnecessary. Difficult enough as it is. I wonder. Nope, that's no better. What about that? Really? Nope, circulation. I'm hoping that if you guys end up doing something that's ridiculous, you find it a lot easier than I do. Nope, that's no good. Start again. So be it. That is much better. Just so long as it stays there. That's all I need. Just stay there. Nope, that arm is dead again. Funny, because it's usually my left that goes dead first. I guess my right felt left out. Wanted to know what all the fuss was about. I feel like this is one of those methods, like, it just epitomizes if it's stupid but it works, then it's not stupid. Except that it definitely is stupid. Categorically, it is stupid. I'm at peace with that. Can't say I mind a whole bunch. Like, that's not gonna work. How am I supposed to do this exactly? I think the answer is I'm not. I can't take it over. That's probably as good as I'm gonna get. Arms dead again. This is why I decided I was gonna have breakfast first. Because I'm so aware that this is going to take me a stupidly long time. I'm expecting this to take me from now until lunchtime. That is what I'm prepped for, realistically. I'm just gonna hold this here for a second. It's quite sunny outside, which is not ideal for the likes of me. It means it's going to get hot in here. Then that does mean that the plaster's going to go off quicker, which is, once I've got it where I want it, it's not going to be a bad thing. For a minute, I can't get it to go where I want it to for the life of me. I have a plan. If I can enact it. No, arms got dead. Right. This is a lot of my problem. I could manage more of this were I not being actively hindered by my blood. One of a... Right. I just get rid of you then. You're going to be a pain in the ass. No, of course I can't. I'm going to be here for a while. As if. Alright, be like that. Can't feel my arm again. Right. How do I fix this? I think I can fix it. But it's going to take quite a lot of messing with. So, let me just dump this one somewhere before it hardens and I can't use it. Which is now. Alright, fine. Cool. This is going to really, really suck. This is why I've been putting this off for such a long time. Because I knew right out the gate I was going to get screwed over by my own arm. So, yeah, that doesn't help either. Right. I reckon what I do here is I need to get rid of these. I know that much. So, I can always sharpen this. I don't advise this particularly. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't cut towards you. It's just very dumb. Can't feel my arm. On why? For what reason? Nope. My mates keep telling me to go to the GP about this. Because it's a massive issue. Particularly when I'm in the gym. But I keep looking at it like, okay, good. Or I could just not waste my time. Because it's not like they're going to do anything about it. Realistically. Like, they're not. Oh, in an ideal world, it would be lovely if I could have blood that worked. But I don't think I'm going to be graced with that reality. I wonder. I can be slightly stupid about this. Probably not, but yeah, no. That's doing absolutely nothing. Maybe that works. I can just do a smaller piece. That's not what I was hoping it would be. back to the if it's stupid but it works approach. Big ol' if. But still. And I'll just stay here for a while. It's fine. I fail to see a problem with this. Other than the fact that it's definitely not gonna sit in the correct position. Come on, stay back there. Just need you to pin that one strip. I'll deal with the rest afterwards. I'm sorry if I'm too loud. The mic is next to my face. Not out of choice. Because it has literally nowhere else it can go. Just gonna chill here for a while. Just stay there. It will get easier. It's just the first bit is always really, really annoying. Because there's nothing for it to stick to yet. Once there are a couple of layers on, it's going to become a lot more manageable. But until then, I'm going to continue to be very upset. So, you know. It is slowly getting there. Just keep building up the bits that I can access. Don't do that. Getting there, but again, my arm is not happy. my options are a little bit limited. Can I try and flick something back for her? Probably nothing particularly big. I can try. Nope, I'm just wrecking what I've already done. Give up on that. Alright, I caved. I submit. Don't do this to me. Alright. I'm just going to be stuck here for a while, I guess. Just wanted to get something up the very back. But no. I'm not allowed. She'll just have to be here for a while. Fine. I don't think much is going to help with that. Okay. So I'm able to do that. So can I get some in down low? Is that legal? I do that. Look like I'm posing for a men's catalogue. Which I'm not. But also, if anyone's interested, I am technically a model now. So, you know, casual plug. Also, a little bit nuts, really. Like, I keep forgetting that it's a thing. Because, you know, when people say that they're a model, you think of some professional stuff, right? Do I look like a professional? If that like, that's not to say that I can't act like one. I absolutely can. And I have done so before. But like, you just like I wouldn't look at me and think, oh yeah, he models. I'd look at me like, ah, yeah, he's got a political system on his Minecraft server. Which, in my defense, I don't. My mate who runs the server does. So, I'm just, look, his server, his rules. So, I made my own party. It was just a requirement. It wasn't my idea. Kind of great, though. I do rate it. We've all got our own lands. Our own lands, our own politics. Our own delegates. On the world stage. Reminds me, Friday today. Which means the weekend is tomorrow. So I can probably poke a load of those guys to see if they want to play any games. I feel like I haven't spoken to them in a while. It's just because, everyone works. We are all of us adults. That's kind of just how these things go. Not extend any further than that. I feel like I probably can't. Um, you want to. In fairness, once it's on there, I can kind of mess around with it. So it's not the end of the world. It's just, kind of hard to see, like, at all. Say the trouble is the way this sits while I'm like this versus the way it actually needs to sit is different. Right. Just gonna leave that as it is for a minute. I don't think there's much more I can do with it, to be honest. just leave that for a second, and I will get back to it. I definitely intend to bandage one half, then stick proper plaster over it before I even attempt to move on to the other one. I don't think it'll stick. I keep wanting to tape this up here. I don't believe it would work, to be honest. So impatient. This kind of stuff is really no good for me. I am way too impatient. I cannot, for the life of me, just wait. I want to knit those together. Okay. Kinda. Right. No, I really do just need to hold that there. Which is fine. I wonder, I don't think I'm about to do any of this one-handed. I think that would just be kind of dumb to try, but also I'm impatient, so at least it occupies my brain. Why? Okay, well, I can just about cut stuff. With the worst scissors ever. I clear some of the plaster off of you. I don't imagine that's helping much. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Don't just run your thumb along scissor blades. That's also dumb. You didn't see me do anything. starting to think it could help me to whack some actual plaster down in that gap. That might help. I also need to not get any water in the big tub of plaster. That would be bad. So I did have a container I was using. It was one of these, it wasn't this one, but it doesn't matter. So I'm only putting a tiny amount in because I know me and I always overestimate water. Every single time. So do I have a mixing stick? No, I did. Ah, yes. It was this one. Alright, not a bad guess. Right. I want you up here. Sort this out, please. It's annoying me. Just keep this still. That's all I want. Hopefully, that will help. Stop all of that from sagging. Hopefully. Well, that does feel like it's helping. Yeah. I'll use up what I've got left. Got more of the annoying little edge bits. Keep in mind that, yes, I'm kind of slapping this on, but also I'm not doing the whole thing in this because plaster heats up and you can quite easily burn yourself if you use too much of it. So bandages is a much safer approach for the first layer, the first couple of layers really at this point. And going over the top afterwards, like, yeah, cool. That's much less dodgy. And keep in mind as well, I'm going to do more bandages on top of this. Just using this to try and hold some of the bandages up because they hate cooperating. And I am way too impatient to deal with that. So, probably stick some under there as well. Give that a second to sort itself out. In the meantime, I'll cut up some more stuff. Now that I kind of have more use of this really dodgy arm. Kind of got 3 tiers going here. Long, medium, and short. And what's this? Oh, this is just the longest. Okay. Cut up some more. Probably gonna have to order more of these as well fairly soon. scrape some of this off. Okay. Oh, hell yeah. Right. That is considerably less irritating. So, still thinking how I'm going to get to the very back. And I'm wondering if I just drop something down and stick water on it after the fact. Potentially. Would it be easier to do it from this way? Just how do I get to that? That's the thing. How do I reach you? Damn it. Well, I can get this up here. Deal with this bit down here first. I can lose all sensation in both my arms. That's always a plus. Right. Do that. Sorts that out. Okay, I can get in over my shoulder. Nope, can't feel my arms. Not quite. Really. Okay. I am going to be hysterically sore by the end of the day. The amount of thoroughly unnatural reaching. Ugh. But it's possible. It's all I care about. That it is doable. All I need. Is it difficult? Yes. Is it suboptimal? 110%. But it's doable. And if it can be done, bet your life I'm going to find a way to do it. I have to leave that for a second. Reluctantly, but I'm going to have to. Funny, I went in and had breakfast, and I, brushing my teeth and thought, oh yeah, I'll have a shower. Actually, you know what? I'll wait. I think I was right to make that decision. I'm hoping I can avoid getting it in my hair, but pretty sure I can already see that there are a couple of chunks in there, so I may just give up on that now, to be honest. I need to put another piece in there. I don't think it's going to go particularly well. Do that. I'm mostly just going to put water on this rather than trying to smooth it a whole bunch. I think if I try and smooth it, I'm just going to drag it, which I don't want to do. There, right. I'm going to leave it exactly there. And I'm going to be here for a while. And then I'm going to fill in that gap in the same way that I did with this. So actually, while I'm here, have I already managed to shift it? Fairly impressive, really. Where's my mixing stick? I didn't put enough water in here to begin with, to be fair. That's definitely too much. Let's try that. A little bit more. Right. How on earth? Don't do that. Oh. Not the worst. Not quite sure how else I'll be able to approach it, to be honest. Yeah, my options are kind of limited here. I can't really use that other arm, because that would warp where it's sitting. Can I just cram? Load in here. And try. And try I will. Try and patch this as well while I'm here. Right. I'm going to hang here for a second. And then, yeah. See where I can go from there, I guess. I will just vibe for a second. Against my will. I think the trouble with me is that I could absolutely just ask for help with this. Like, that is a thing that I could do. And it would probably save me a lot of time. However, I am a control freak. And I trust no one with this other than myself. And so, I shall lie in the bed I have made. I accept the consequences of my actions. I acknowledge that it is what it is. If it comes to a point that it's just, like, actually unbearable and I have to phone a friend, fine. For as long as I am able, I will continue to suffer. That worked. Also flicked water everywhere, but, you know, whatever, really. Can I reach up here? Kind of. Kind of, sort of-ish. God, I want to stand up. Okay. I think that bit up there is holding. I am someone who enjoys standing. Standing up straight. So being bent over in awkward positions is no good for me, to be honest. I do not like it. Wonder if I can just slap this on my back. No, because I can't even reach. Right, well, if I hold that up there. Can I at least? No, no, I can't. Much easier to do it with that hand. Come on, don't do this. It's all working so well. Let's go up there. Go up there and stay up there. seems... Reach. That seems like it's not too bad. So, yeah. I'll give it some of this again. That's not too bad. I think I can make that work. Right. Which hand is the one that can reach up here? Let me figure that out first. That one shouldn't. That one can't. Alright, well. That limits my options. Okay, we pin it up there. Past that point, I need a longer stick. So, don't see why I shouldn't. These things tend to show up for a reason. I don't even remember acquiring a large wooden chopstick. Okay. That should help. My neck. My neck, my back. I'm not finishing that. No. It's too early for all that. Just get it on the very end then. You're going to be like that. Don't you be going solid on me already, you bloody thing. Just sit in the gap. Sit in the gap and stay there. Better than not. Right. Jeez. My back hates this. It is not having a good time. I keep thinking it's the weekend. It's not. So it looks to be like quite a nice morning out. It was quite cold, actually. Being in and out of the garage this morning. Like when I first came in here, I was actually in a hoodie, which is nice, to be honest. I've missed feeling the need for a hoodie. It's my preferred state of being. You know? Just in a hoodie. I'm really thinking just messaging my nan like, hey, if you're vaguely presentable, you fancy getting covered in crud. I am going to be here for a painfully long time, whatever way I spin it. Alright. Clear some of this out. I want to fix that upper edge again. Feel like I could probably get in here, fix some of that. Again, really, I should ask for help with that so it all stays set in the right position. That's what I should do. Whether I will or not remains to be seen. That's what I should do. In the meantime, I'll probably get this put on here. Or I could just not. Apparently. Oh, something just popped. Choosing to ignore it. Something in my left shoulder definitely just popped. think of all the seven deadly sins, pride is mine. Because any sensible human being would have just asked for help by now. And while, yes, the original intent of this was to show that you can do this stuff on your own, I like to think I've proven that at this point. Oh, my back. Because really, I'm probably just going to end up wasting more time mucking about trying to do this on my own than if I just got help with it. So, you know. So I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to message my nan. In fairness, it usually takes her a while to check her messages anyway, so I'll keep doing this for as long as I need to. I'm going to drop her a message anyway. So. Ooh. And there's a new album drop from Witch Hazel. I need to check that out. And I need to get a picture of this as well. Prove that I am doing the thing. Not that I can get a very good pic through this mirror. It's... existence is tricky. Okay. And then have pictures. And now I will message my nan. It will register my fingers. Okay. I'll just have to see when she gets back to me. But in the meantime, I can continue to suffer. Still want to fill in that lower edge. In fairness, everything that's like front facing, I can kind of get to anyway. So, not really the end of the world. fill in a bunch of these bits, that's fine. Yeah, the lower edges are much easier to deal with than the upper ones, because they just move considerably less. And realistically, none of what I'm covering should be moving at all. But then, you know, swings and roundabouts. Back to the hole. Yes, you can do it on your own, but it's going to be a pain in the ass. In fairness, I'm hoping that the chest piece itself is going to be easier, because it's away from the arms. You know, those things that I have to use to do this. So, yeah. Oh, she replied to me with a thumbs up. Excellent. I'm going to pause the Iron Maiden in my ears. Just in case she ends up knocking. Where's the switch for these? There it is. Ah, hello. Yes, I do have gloves, but gloves is sensible. Yeah, no worries. So, here's my conundrum, right? I've been managing to do it on my own. The issue is, because it's at the side,
You're twisting.
I'm twisting, and then it messes with all the edges I've got set up. But
so what are you doing? You put the
right,
strips on and then
yeah. So what I'm
that if you've broken your arm.
Yeah, pretty much. So what I'm aiming to do is get these strips over here and then sort of smooth it down so that it ends up filling in that ridge.
You're going to be cutting that way.
Because I will eventually be cutting myself out of this. But yeah,
right. Show me.
I will demo.
Do a demo, and then
I'll do a demo on this side, because the back is the bit that I'm really struggling with. So I'll show you what I'm doing.
So the plaster's in the strip.
Yeah, you just make it wet. And then what I'm doing is keeping it as flat as I possibly can, and then smoothing it on. The trouble is, because it's bandage, it likes to flop. So it will. And yeah, whatever works. But I'm mainly just trying to have it so that it smooths over where those gaps are.
Yeah.
But it's not easy to do.
Right, let me have a little practice.
Go for it.
So it doesn't matter which one.
No, whatever works. I just cut a few at different lengths.
And then you just literally wetting it?
Yeah. Doesn't need a lot of wetting.
Okay.
Because then it'll start sticking to itself.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit trial and error.
It's going to suck. And you can see why me trying to do this on my own has been a living, breathing hell.
Right, so where do you want me to carry on?
Wherever.
Here?
Wherever works. Because at least then I can hold it as you go. Because as things stand, I've not been able to do that.
No, that's going to be easier then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. And then rinse, repeat.
That'd
be fine.
Obviously much easier with 2 hands.
Yes. Because trying to do this on my own has been
a plaster buddy.
pretty much. It was one of those I'd started off like, no, I will do it on my own.
Nice, isn't it? I get it. The plaster comes out and smooth.
Yeah.
So shall I go all the way round to the...
I'd say we'll do a bit at a time, because if we go all the way around, I can't hold it all the way around.
Okay, so I'll carry on here. So how many layers do you put on?
So I would do at least a couple.
Yeah.
So what I'd be inclined to do is take
Come
more
back.
and come back
Come
and
back
go over
over.
at a different angle.
Okay.
You know, like when you're doing the duct tape dummy.
Yeah,
you do...
like if you were doing a paper mache.
Yes, that is pretty much what this is.
So, like that.
Exactly. You can see why I've been...
Yeah, the gloves don't help, but you wouldn't want to be doing it with hands.
No, I did it with just my hands last time.
I like it. It's fun, isn't it?
And they got so dry that they split. Gloves are important. Oops, apologies.
Bit of an overlap.
Yeah. I would say if it's too soggy, it's going to take a while to
dry.
Yields. Now that one, you're probably going to want to lift up a bit to make sure it definitely covers that whole gap.
Edge.
Yeah.
I'll bring one more up, yeah?
Yeah. Well, because
what
I'm saying is because it dips in. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise it falls into the gap.
So can I lift that one off?
Yeah. And then take it up and over.
Up and over.
Yields. Yeah, that's better. But as I say, it then starts falling,
Flopping, yeah.
which is why I've been suffering.
It's got nothing to
No, exactly.
So we don't want too much overhang, but just enough, then it won't flop.
Ideally. But I do have a fix for the flop. It just takes a while. Yeah, there's trenches down the sides, so...
Right, so shall I come up again?
Yeah, so what I do is go up, but over these bits now.
Okay.
Because then you're kind of knitting them together. Yeah, that's better. And I'll just hold it for a bit.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to wait for a second because obviously it takes a while to do anything. So, yeah. There's been quite a lot of just waiting around. But one hack that I've been using is I have been taking a little bit of this, a little bit of like actual plaster,
and then squidging it
and then squidging it on the edges.
So you've also got a ridge down here to cover, haven't you?
Yeah. So
what's
the lower,
all about?
The lower is trickier.
Yeah.
Because
so
it's...
You haven't come into it down here yet.
No. So what I'm trying to do is get in and between these as much as possible.
Get the shape.
Yeah. So it's tricky.
Gotcha.
because of where they meet,
So it's good
but
that I'm practicing on the top.
yes, definitely. And then I'm going to try and fix these edges at the front by mixing up some of this. I've been twisting at all sorts of angles trying to get this done.
See,
It's been a little
looking at what
awkward.
shirt you've got under there.
Yeah, well, this is the one that I used last time as well, so can't say I'm particularly phased.
Drying quite quickly, so that's good.
It's not too bad, but it's not very strong, so I've then been going back over with this just to try and support it.
Could almost cut the long bit off so it didn't
Ah,
flop in.
so that would be great if I could cut it.
Shall I?
It's not a case of that.
You
The
can't.
scissors won't cut through it
Oh,
because it's wet
yeah.
and sticky. It just
So it's not just because you couldn't get
no,
at
it just point blank
Okay.
refuses.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So in future, what we've got to try and do is not overlap quite so much if we can.
yeah, because
So it doesn't flop.
that's how I've had to deal with this
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
That's better.
Good. Okay. So
But yeah,
shall we carry on round a bit?
yeah, I'd say if you're able, then go for it. Because what I'm trying to do is get this bandage to stretch over this gap.
Yeah. So should I come back there again?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, exactly. Right, let me take that. Then that's better. And then go. Yeah, I can.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
they're different sizes for a reason.
It's just for convenience, because
Yeah.
there'll be some bits that it's easier to do with shorter bits. And some will be easier with longer bits.
At the hospital, do that in the plaster room.
I could do several things.
I know. You can do too many things.
Well, that's how these types of things often go.
Overlap's interesting, isn't it? You know, with these sort of skills.
Well, that's something that I say to people a lot, is the transferable skill element. Like, I've spoken to a bunch of people at cons before, and they're saying, "Oh, you know, I'd love to do stuff like this, but I could never." It's like, you would be amazed at what you could absolutely already do.
Yeah.
Just based on other areas.
Having a chance to have a go, isn't it?
Yeah. And the other thing is that these days it can be kind of disheartening because a lot of cosplayers now use a lot of tech, and people don't have access to 3D printers necessarily, or laser cutters. So that's why I try to use realistically old methods,
old technology,
so that I can just be like, look,
I mean,
this is how to do it. Like, it's tedious, but it works. I'd say the only thing with this edge is it needs to come up a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Because otherwise it's all going to flop in and under.
I'm going to do a lower first.
Okay. So come down a bit lower than that. So start, yeah. You're going to want a fair whack of overlap to be able to get the edge in properly.
Yeah.
And then it's just tucking it all in and under. like that. Coolio. Cool, cool. And if I need to cut some more strips soon, I can. So I'd say it'd be a similar sort of thing along this upper edge.
Yeah. Right, I'm passing out the garage door.
It's fine. It's only because I keep trying to look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror. That's it.
So, yeah, have one of those.
Right. So now we're gonna.
So go up top.
You want me to come up?
Yeah, and go fairly high.
Up and over.
Because, yeah, it needs to kind of bridge that gap with a slope. So, more like that and less caught in that groove. So less focus on the grooves.
Okay.
Because the grooves need to be bridged rather than smoothed into.
Oh, okay. I thought you want that shape.
No. I'm trying to get over those. It's almost like, you know, when you put fabric over a jam jar, it's the same thing. It doesn't go in, it's over. Yes. So that's what I'm trying to do. Because basically, I want these at the end to look like one smooth, rounded piece.
Got you.
Yes.
Didn't want the shape in.
You. Because I couldn't be bothered to sculpt it.
Yeah.
I will have to do it afterwards anyway.
Yeah.
But as much as possible, I want to try and avoid it to start with. So like.
But not down here.
No.
That needs to be.
Yeah. So like the very outer edges are the end of that piece. Gotcha. But there's an inner one that should be bridged over to make it look like it's rounded. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Yes, that is right. I mean, as I say, I know that I'm going to have to sculpt it afterwards anyway. But if I can try and get it roughly right to start with, then that's the ideal. Yeah. Cool. And then obviously the back I can't see for anything. So the back I have no hope. Because I started attempting it, but then I ran out of luck. And if we do end up needing more water, I've got the watering can down there.
I do hope it's not water.
I mean, yeah. What do I care? You know? It's using up water. Can't say I'm phased. What I did last time as well. All the same to me.
Right, that's quite good.
Cool.
Where shall I go now? Go back down and into the ridge?
Yeah. Yeah, well I can cut some. I can cut some now. Yeah. Might as well. Because if I can get this done this morning and have it.
You notice I repurposed all your tent out there.
No.
I did it up and it's all coming off the big brolly.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
I thought it's just easier.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That makes sense. No, I was just ducking in and out of stuff this morning to come out here. I didn't really clock it. I was busy thinking about what I needed to do.
So you haven't actually come down onto that yet because you couldn't see.
Literally
that side,
couldn't
so no.
reach.
I'm just seeing if it's matching.
Yeah. Take your pick. They're all similar. That Crazy Train.
Yeah. Been watching Ozzy again.
Oh yeah. What, like the Osbournes or just?
Yeah, like a recap.
Because I know they have like a podcast or something
Yeah,
that they
it's a
do.
podcast.
Okay.
Kelly's so embarrassed about how her behaviour he used to be.
She was pretty awful.
She must have been suffering. I think it was too much pressure.
I mean,
You know, she was working here, there, and everywhere, wasn't she?
yeah, and also,
She said, "Just give the money back. I don't want to do it."
yeah, no, and it is just like,
she was a kid.
that's the thing. You know, you're at home with a camera crew around 24/7. Like,
teenage kids, is it?
no, there's a reason child stars are messed up.
Doesn't normally end well.
No,
Does it?
no, it doesn't. That way or this way? That way.
Yeah, a bit towards me. That's it.
Yeah.
Get underneath that.
Yeah.
Little ridge.
A little bit, yeah.
Possibly similar, isn't it? Some ways.
I quite enjoy the idea of you attempting pottery with your coordination.
Get out of it. I'm sitting down.
I don't know though, because yeah, no, that does. Cool. And then I'd say that sort of back middle, because like the very sort of back middle.
Okay, so it's bridged. It's not two separate.
So ideally, two separates.
We're kind of gone a bit lumpy here.
Yes,
that won't matter, would it?
No, it shouldn't matter.
So it's because you're going to be cutting the shape.
So
when you're wearing it, that's where it opens.
Yeah. So you can bridge it for now.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to taking it off, it'll be cut down that back.
Like you would if you were taking off
yes. Yeah. So it can be bridged for now without issue. Because that's what I did with the original lot. And then I got lucky and I was able to just slide it off without cutting it. Yeah. As long as it's all sort of flattened in along the top. So like it still follows those ridges up the top.
Yeah.
Like in here.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
yeah.
It's got to
keep the shape, but like you can have strips that go across the two. Yeah.
Working a bit blind, you've got the vision.
Yes. Which isn't usually how this goes. Fine. Just say I got the watering can. I'd only do a little bit because, yeah. Yeah. Because I'm basically, the way that I did the last one is I had the plaster cast, which is this bit of the foam. Then I used that as a mold to make a fiberglass copy.
Yeah.
then obviously the fiberglass copy is lumpy and a mess
Yeah.
because the mold is a mess.
Yeah.
So then I used polyfiller and I sanded it and filled it all.
Yeah.
And then I took a mold of that version to make my end one. So it kind of gets double fiberglass. Yes.
So I'm going to come up a bit higher now.
Yeah, sure.
Because it needs to come up here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Would you be able to see better if I spun around? Because all the lights are in this direction.
Yeah. I think then people can see what's
Yeah,
going
let me do that.
If anyone's interested.
The story of my life. If I do that, probably find there's more light.
Having a thought with the old Eddie bits you've been making.
Yeah.
They keep coming up on my Facebook that I'm a top Eddie fan, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I've not clicked on it. I'm wondering if I should, and then show some of your.
Well, if you want to publicize my stuff, then
it might be a good idea as it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't refute that particularly. So, well, I'm cool with whatever, to be honest. I do not mind, because now I know what I'm doing. I can pump them out pretty consistently. So, yeah, the publicity is the bit that I'm bad at. Like the whole social media side of things. One of those, I know that I need to do it, but also when it comes to allocating my time, I'd rather not be spending it on social media. But I was talking to someone yesterday about social media and saying, it's a tool, it's how you use it.
It's there, not going away.
No, and that's another thing I'd said. The whole Pandora's box aspect of.
So just use it very carefully.
Yes. Just be sensible with it.
Okay, so a few more layers there, a couple more, or one more.
Probably going to be fine, to be honest.
Cut through it, you don't want to.
Yeah, it should be all right, because what I'm going to do is once all the bandages are on, they in themselves are fairly weak, so I will be covering the whole lot in proper plaster anyway.
Okay.
So this is mostly.
Okay, this is just a base.
Yeah, this is a base to get the shape.
Carry on with this lower?
Yeah, I'd say the lower edge is probably the best use.
Special box. What's the thing down at the bottom that I'm. This thing.
There's just a label on the bottom. I know exactly what this box is from.
I wondered if it's special.
No.
Because it's working quite well, isn't it?
It was
because
a
you've
fluke.
got like an island.
Yeah.
So the plaster's not getting wet.
So it was just because it was the biggest box I had to use. And it's from an old set of like an old jewelry making set that had like a load of plastic beads in it from way, way, way back. It used to have like a pink glittery lid.
I know.
So.
Well, that was wasn't it?
Yeah, it's come in handy. It just happened to work. But it was very much one of those.
That is perfect, isn't it? Because it's got that little
Yeah. That was a complete accident, really. That is the one.
moves.
Yes. That is the way to get around that. Right. Yeah, this would have taken me far too long
Well, that's the thing, isn't
on
it?
my own.
It's just going to get hotter then.
Yeah. Though it's not supposed to be too bad. I actually came out in a hoodie originally, which I was very surprised by. Yeah, I've got the fan blowing this way. That was another reason I wanted to move you, because dust and such.
Lower rib.
Cool. And I'm going to start mixing up more plaster to whack on top. As I say, the bandages themselves, pretty lame. Steal some of this. You're probably going to need more.
Yeah.
Oh, I step out the way. Because as it starts getting heavier, I'm going to have to hold it more.
Yeah, it puts straps on it.
Well, I tried with tape, but
Yeah.
it doesn't, it only does so much. Is it the dust or your usual? Okay. Because I'd offer you a mask, but I feel like you'll just die more. Go for it. I've got more gloves. Yeah. I always do if I can. A lot of the time I'm dealing in resins and such, so I can't.
there, like a bit like you.
Yeah. But it's just covering this top bit. Yeah, I do.
I think the air's toxic in it.
Yeah, it's probably not great. That's why I always have a door open as much as I can.
You've got beans in or something.
I do. I was gonna say, I feel like you might be using large. Your knuckles in it. I've got rubber gloves.
That's right. No, I wouldn't be able to nothing.
I didn't think so.
That's all right. Scissor fingers.
Sounds like a threat. Like an old timey gangster.
On that.
Probably. Probably. Go for it. Slap one up under here, I think.
Down and under there then.
It's definitely a lot bloody quicker with help.
A lot when you can't see what you're doing.
Yes.
And you can't even spin it round.
No. No. As much as I enjoy the ingenuity that it creates, like,
there's a limit.
there comes a point, I was going to say. I wasn't sure where you want me.
Turn to the left. Love how pliable it is. It's really good, isn't it?
Oh, it's like, if you're using it right. It's just on its own, it's not very strong. So get in and under here is the trick. Because this snaky bit doesn't matter. Because the snaky bit is part of my other piece.
Okay.
So the only bit that does matter is this.
Okay.
So the gap between them matters.
Yeah.
But the snaky bit itself is meh. So it's just making sure that that gap under here is, let's say, water, and then slide a stick between them just to make sure they're definitely separated. It looks fine from the front, at least.
Looks good.
So okay. Right. Now I can probably faff with a bit of it on my own for a bit. I can't reach the back. So if you wanted to take a breather, because you sound like yourself.
I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and then I'll come
Yeah.
back. Then if
Yeah.
right.
That's fine, because I can work on the front.
Yeah,
on
the
my
back's
own.
pretty well covered.
But yeah, that's fine.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay.
Okay, then I'll
Cheers.
go and have a cup of tea. And
Yes. Yeah. You definitely have time. Nice. Right, I shall faff. You go breathe. Okay, yeah, I will concede it is much more efficient to ask for help with these things. Definitely, positively. So, I stand by my original. You can do this on your own. I just would thoroughly recommend having an assistant. I want to make sure my fingers aren't wet before I dunk this back in here, because I will be. And now I'm going to mix up a whole bunch of the strong plaster to go with this. I'm going to slap that on top excessively. That was crucial last time. pretty okay. Let's go in under here. Mostly try and toughen up those edges because they are going to crack when it comes to getting this off. I would rather minimize the damage. For now, it is just icing a cake, more or less. Trying to fill in all those areas that I know are going to give me grief. And reinforce all up in here where it cracked. Because shockingly, I was moving a lot. Not ideal, really, all things considered. Right. And that's going to be a problem. Need to put some bandage in under there. I will do that. It's going to get lost up under here. That's better. Plugs that gap. This thing is comically heavy. but that's fine. I'm going to stop wasting time. And I'm just going to slap this on with my hands. Because it is just going to keep hardening. Need to get a layer on. There. Better. I have plaster between my toes. Don't worry about it. Sure, that's fine. Very much looking forward to that shower. But anyway. How's this looking? Potentially usable. Yeah, no, I can use that. Just. Ish. Let me clear out the rest of the crud from in here. And I will be vacuuming the garage once all is said and done. So I'm not bothered about dumping stuff on the floor for now, to be honest. I'd usually at least try and get it in the bin, but there'll be a fairly decent deep clean that goes on after this. The stick has finally given up. Fair play to it, really. Using it for a while. Jeez. This is very heavy. And it's getting warm. Why am I trying to save this half a stick? That is foolhardy. Oish. All of that's not intended terrible condition. It's getting uncomfortably warm in here now. Crank up the fan. I might as well use this. Question is, where do I want to put this? Answer is kind of everywhere, but I should probably start with this side because I can kind of see it better. Okay. And I'll just swap, do the other side. At least attempt to. That's why I prefer using tools over using the hands. Time is a thing, and I don't have much of it. Or getting plaster in my shoes. Right. Yeah. Let me try that again. All right. I'm gonna try and clean this out a little bit. Realistically, as best as I can. Enough. Oh, I'm gonna give my back a break. Jeez. Right. Yeah, then a lot of it is going to be trying to get around to the back, which is not going to be all that easy. So yeah, I'm probably going to have to ask for help from them. Also, the way that this keeps falling, I'm like, can I just slide out of here? Can I fit through that gap? I feel like I could at least try and fit through that gap. But it would be foolhardy to try that before I'd put proper plaster on the back. So I'm going to not do that. I do have just remembered I can use one of these. I can reach reasonably far back. That seems doable. Use up the last of this. I need a bit more water. Hopefully. I should probably add a little bit more than that. So because I can never gauge these things, I'm going to dump some in there. I'm going to do it from here. feel like that's probably definitely too much. Yes, it is. Awesome. It's fine, I needed to make more anyway. That's pretty okay. I'm gonna roll the boat. I'm going to attempt to slap a load on my back. Which, in my defense, appears to be working. Right, not bad. Not bad. I can get away with that. That's fine. Already cracking up here, which is a problem. But one that I expected to have. So it is what it is. Open. I can slap enough on there. And fill the gap. falling down. Gravity really, really wants this. Can't hold enough air in to keep this up on its own anymore. Like my lung capacity is not enough. That's not doing any favors. So I'll clear this out again. All right. Bullish. Yeah, that is heavy. Why? Why is it that whenever I close my phone? Ah, yes, good timing. Yeah. So,
What stage have we got to?
basically, what I've been doing is I've been mixing up like plaster and sticking it on top.
Molding it over.
This has been useful,
Right.
but I can't reach the back, obviously. So I can mix plaster, but I can't then slap it on my back. That is,
Mix some.
yeah.
I might be better off with the hand.
I've been using a combo.
Smoothing. It will crack more easily, won't it?
Yes, and it definitely has been. So let me mix some. I was going to say, it's not going to be fun in here. You can open the back door if you want as well. I just didn't because I didn't want it to blow in all directions. Exactly. Whereas at least this way, it's only blowing in that direction. Okay, that should be fine.
Basically following the lines and
Basically just all over the main
so
thing.
you're going to be sanding back.
Well, I don't need to sand this.
Oh, okay.
I'm using the inside, not the outside.
Oh.
Yes.
Now I'm with you.
Now it makes sense. Yeah, it'll be fine. So this is just to strengthen the outside.
It's quite dry.
Yeah.
If it's too dry.
What, the plaster?
Yeah, because it's not smoothing.
Isn't it? Oh.
A bit more. Drying quite quick.
It should be fine, but yeah.
You're going to get it very lumpy.
It doesn't matter because
Doesn't matter.
it's just for the outside. Try this. It's just to stop the bandages from flopping about. Gonna say.
There.
Steal that. There's a bit left on this as well. I will mix up some more in the meantime. Hopefully after that, be pretty good. Give that a go.
If needed. If you've done the front.
Yeah. Front It's as good as it needs to be. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of that.
Really good.
Yeah.
Feeling claustrophobic at all?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Keep in mind, under the snake is less important. Because I won't actually be using that.
Using it up really, because I think it's pretty well covered.
Cool. Sweet.
Pretty good.
Okay.
So what you've got to do, just wait for
Awesome.
it to dry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cut yourself out.
Pretty much. Oh, I've been lucky in the past and I've been able to just slide out of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you're open at the front.
Yeah. So I'll probably be able to do that.
Do you want me to hang till you make sure?
Thing is if I take it off too soon
it's going to be...
it cracks,
Yeah.
I'm going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
So I'd say really, you're probably good to leave the dust zone. Aaron, I'll message him and say I'll be with him in a sec.
See what you're up to.
Give me 5 minutes.
I think he's at work.
Dunno. But yeah.
I'm going to get a brush so that I brush that out of your way, and then it's contained, isn't it?
That's fine. I can deal with all that.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it. That's fine. I'll be all right. Pretty much done at this point anyway. So. Right. So yeah. That's that, really. I have a big plaster thing that is obscenely heavy. And yeah. I am going to call it there, to be honest. Because I don't particularly want to get claimed because of my ringtone. That would suck. So I really hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I'm going to call it there for now. I will eventually slide out of this. But for now, I'm going to try and keep it on. And yeah, I'm going to ring back my mate. And the next time you see me, I should be out of this. So yeah, I will catch you guys in a bit.